It was well past midnight when Mark decided to take a shortcut through the old graveyard. The air was thick, colder than usual for this time of year. He had walked this path countless times, but tonight felt different. There was something off. He glanced at the cracked headstones, some weathered beyond recognition. Then he noticed one newly dug. Fresh dirt mounded over the grave, a small, freshly placed bouquet of flowers. But that wasn't the strangest part. Mark's eyes locked onto the name etched into the stone. His own name. His heart raced. It was impossible. He looked around. Nothing. The moonlight barely cut through the thick clouds. His phone buzzed in his pocket, but when he pulled it out, the screen was cracked. He couldn't make out a thing. He stuffed it back in his jacket, shaken. He turned, quickened his pace, but there was something else in the graveyard now. The whispering, faint at first, but growing louder. Mark, Mark, Mark. Mark froze. A shadow darted behind one of the crypts. He tried to ignore it, telling himself it was just his imagination. But then the whispering grew clearer. Mark, Mark. He spun around. The figure stood there, pale and gaunt, its eyes dark, hollow pits. The whispering. It wasn't in the wind. It was coming from the grave. Mark ran. As he reached the gate, the last thing he saw before the darkness swallowed him whole was the name on the gravestone, the flowers, and a date.